Welcome to Movie Bitches. RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12, Episode 5. Well, first things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Go to trywink.com/moviebitches and you get $22 off your first month of wine. I will say, it's been very, very helpful in these times. Your glass didn't disappear. Look at you stepping up your video quality. Mine's actually a little worse. I gotta work on the lighting. Shout out to our Patreon subscribers. $5 a month more gets you early access. $10 a month or more gets you access to our viewing parties. They've been very fun and silly. I like to see where you and I have the same reaction.
That's what the Burgundy Merlot number was so hilarious.
Oh my god. That
was a rude edit of her crying.
It was funny, the things that we both pick up on.
Anyway. It is fun to see where we sync up, even though we are separate, not talking to each other, and are just watching the same thing.
Exactly. Third things third, make sure to subscribe, share, Follow us on Instagram,
We've been doing daily dances.
Yes. I would do a share daily dance. That's a good one for the list.
Yeah, we haven't done share yet.
No. Make sure to click the little notification button down below. Turn that little bell on. Make sure you turn on all notifications. I don't entirely know what that means, so I'm not particularly helpful.
Great. So the episode starts, and everyone's really sad about Rockham leaving.
And for a second, I thought Britta was going to be like, she really wanted it more than I do, so I'm going to leave and let her take my place. And I was like, I think that's the right choice. But that's not what happened.
Nope.
I just hear Rockham's crying and how badly she wanted this, while other people did the bare minimum and skated by again.
Oh my god, they just wouldn't shut up, and they were so rude and just dismissive, and I was just over it.
I'm over it. I'm like, worry about yourself. Why do you think you keep being in the bottom, Britta? Because you're being real bitter. I think we need to rename her Bitter Britta, by the way.
Love it.
She no longer gets to be Britta No Filter. It's too fabulous. And everyone was like, oh my god, I was so surprised, Britta, that you were in the bottom. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what? All of her looks were bad. All three of them were bad.
Were terrible.
Which one of us is betrayed besides me?
I think Jan would be betrayed if she had her boy brows.
I mean...
It's not untrue.
Well, and then Jada was just like, I'm the trade because I'm the sexiest person in this entire room. What's happening?
I really like, somehow Jada's confidence just comes off as delightful to me and not annoying or overly confident.
There's not like an arrogance, it's just confidence.
So the pit crew comes in their little nurse hat.
Doctor, somebody check my temperature.
Nurse.
Gay's Anatomy, weird, again, it's weird. And this mini challenge was, they need to stop calling them challenges because basically they just handed them prescription bottles and then whoever randomly got the pink pill.
It used to be that the mini challenge would kind of give you a sense of who was on their game this episode, who was ready to slay. It gave them an opportunity to show at least Ru an extra sense of like silliness or fun or a different side of their personality that might not be coming through in the main challenge.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was like, here's random chance.
Oh, Nikki and Gigi.
Oh, Gigi.
You are in charge of casting.
I think Jackie at the beginning was like, oh, so 5 weeks without Ben or something. She said
right,
something.
Yeah, there was definitely like a no sex thing.
We're getting thirsty or something, yeah.
Little did they know what was coming. Because of quarantine, you know.
No, I was there. I got it. Right.
I do love that Heidi keeps having to, well, she doesn't necessarily have to, but she keeps explaining all of her jokes, but then it somehow makes them funnier.
Overall, she delivered. Literally, because she was pregnant. If that doesn't make it, that's a problem.
Typically, that makes it not funny, but when she explains it, it makes it funnier.
Well, because they're all like, dad jokes or whatever.
Right.
And so having her then point out that they're terrible makes it extra funny.
Yes, exactly.
Because there's a ghost, and due to Aiden's personality, I think that could be a good idea.
This was really making me laugh when they just kept being like, well, Aiden, we just thought it'd be perfect if you played a ghost.
When we were deciding, we were like, I think she could do good as like a ghost. I'm excited to see you as a ghost. Boo.
It seemed like they were trying to be fair, give everyone who they wanted more or less. I mean, obviously, I guess it seemed like Nicki kind of shot herself in the foot. Or did she?
Poor dumb Ellie Mae. Who's gonna tell her that she smells like fish, too?
Well, she kind of talks about, like, the baby doesn't have that many lines, and that's kind of the perfect part for her. I mean, can you imagine if she had like Jada's part or something? It would have been terrible.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is you want something that doesn't have a lot of lines, so she doesn't have to memorize things in a different language. It has the opportunity to be stupid and funny and campy and over the top. So I was like, that seems like the perfect role for you.
Well, and I did agree with Jackie.
I don't understand why Jan wants to be Meredith number 2. Part of the comedy of the challenge is for the two Merediths to look very different, but whatever.
So I think that was actually a missed opportunity on Gigi and Nikki's part to like cast that properly.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, can you imagine if she had turned into like Widow?
Exactly, that would have been hilarious. You'd been like, what, I have a new face? And then she says to them, Mom, how do you recognize me? Oh, sure, whatever, sweetie.
I don't see the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so when they assign Aiden the ghost, it's, I guess in the description, it's like explained that it's supposed to be Mae West-esque.
Aiden, like, you know Mae West, right?
Probably not like you guys.
How do you not know who Mae West is? Call my lawyer.
Call my lawyer!
Right. But then it seemed like all that she knew of Mae West was Alaska's Snatch Game performance of Mae West.
Why don't you come on up and me in the ass sometime?
Exactly! Wow, yeah.
Why don't you come up and meet me sometime? Oh. And I was like, I mean, sure. But the funniness of that whole thing was kind of lost for me because I was like, but Alaska did this.
Yes, it was similar, but I don't know. I actually thought Aiden was one of the funnier people in the sketches.
Yes. So I thought she got better. I guess it turns out that I guess they were right and she was good at playing a ghost.
Boo.
The big, like, I should have been Black China moment of this was that Widow was upset that she didn't get the role that she wanted. Which was what?
She wanted to be Mother.
Oh, right. To be Mimi Dearest or something?
No, Mimi was the person she ended up being.
She was Mimi Dearest, which is confusing because it's Mommy Dearest. Which,
and then Mother.
But then the mother was not, so...
You know, we'll get into my complaints about the writing and the Grey's Anatomy of it all. So, quick commercial break and we'll be back with the filming of the performances and everyone getting ready and some sad stuff, but also some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy. And thank God Carson is the director. That was my highlight of this whole thing, basically. I'm sorry, but it was.
I mean, I would have still preferred someone else.
They could have gotten Ellen Pompeo. They could have gotten Sandra Oh. They could have gotten Shonda Rhimes.
I mean, oh my God. They could not get... Well, I mean, could it... If they had gotten Shonda Rhimes...
That would have been so fabulous.
Also, like, could Ru get Shonda to produce his next show, if he ever gets one, on Netflix?
Ooh, I like that.
Because I feel like he could use a really strong guiding hand.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
What do we think would happen if Ru and Tyler Perry got together on a project?
We got married, and it was a whirlwind.
I feel like it might be the best disaster ever.
It would either be so campy and stupid and fun on purpose.
Tyler Perry cannot do anything on purpose.
I think it would just be like the density of failure. Oh, they made the wrong choices.
I mean, can you imagine if they got Joe Esterhaus to write a script and then had Tyler Perry and do the directing and Ru acting in it? It might just, like, I don't even know.
I don't even
open
know.
A black hole into the universe?
Yes. And maybe it would put us back on the right path? Or
into the different timeline.
Into a different simulation? I'm not sure.
They do it.
It's worth a shot. So, I mean, there wasn't that much to talk about in their, like, filming. Carson was sort of helpful. I think the biggest problem was the writing. Britta kept spitting on Aiden, and they hated each other.
The whole scene was just facefuls. That big mouth has a lot of spit.
Enunciation is the mark of a good actor. And when you enunciate, you spit.
I thought this was funny that Britta was just being so, like, ugh, she's terrible. Ugh, I hate her. Ugh. And then Carson's like, okay, Aiden, you really turned it around. Britta, can we just get this right, please?
Right.
And cut. Aiden, you nailed it. You took all those notes. That was perfect. And then Britta.
And yet she didn't recognize that she was... Oh, we'll talk about it.
The delusion was really... It's just... I don't know what it is, but it's giving me a lot of Alexis Michelle vibes.
Oh, I was going to say, like, Roxy and Jinx.
No. Oh, well, the bullying, sure. Yes.
The, like, you're weird. You don't deserve to be on my level. I'm, blah, blah, all that stuff. I'm like, eh.
Definitely that. I meant in terms of like the delusion and like the Broadway, like there's just so much of their personalities that I'm like, oh, this is kind of similar.
But I did find Alexis Michelle's delusions more entertaining.
Sure.
If you see something, you say something.
Well, and then we had, I mean, Gigi was cracking me up, like licking the fucking cat and whatever else.
And just her like, like she was doing a lot with her face.
Yes, and I loved this too, where Carson's like, Gigi, perfect.
Keep doing what you're doing. Great.
Jackie, well, we can work on it. You know, everyone else, well, let's figure this out. I mean, I guess really Jada's was the most stilted.
I mean, her lines were difficult. But
sure, they were the most wordplay-y.
But I thought it was weird that they had, like, Shonda Rhimes as a character. We'll get into it. So then we're back to the workroom. Everyone's getting ready, and completely unprompted.
Completely on her own, without being prompted by a producer, obviously.
Prompted by the producers in any sort of way whatsoever.
Sherry,
yes.
Your mother character, was it based off of any of your like real life mother figures?
Not really.
Totally normal sentence. So, Sherry, you played a mother. How did you do that? Did you relate it to your mom? Mothers, shall we talk about it? I mean, I was like, come on. It was really weird because they were showing Sherry, and I was like, oh, this is weird. They must have not been able to cut around. Oh.
Like, I love my mom, you know?
I mean, they were very sad, and I was emotional about it. I was just laughing at how we got there.
It was just so absurd. The entryway was just like, oh.
You played a character named Mother. Did you base her off your mother?
Yes, my mom loves to support me.
Doesn't approve of my drag, and it was just like, what is going on?
Mother!
Aside from the clumsy way that we got there, Jackie then talks about how her mom hasn't really accepted her as a drag queen, and, you know, would rather her have been a doctor and all these things, and it was really sad.
I'm not what she dreamed I would be.
Success is success, and she can see this, and she sees that you can take care of yourself and you can be happy.
You have to do you, but also, like, in success and seeing you succeed at something, parents just want their kids to be happy and to succeed. Yes. Maybe that success is in something outside of what they dreamt of or thought was possible, but you've opened their eyes, and, like, seeing you happy and successful is what they're ultimately going to hopefully want. Well, and then this kind of then is like, oh, well, we're going to take one sad story about moms into an even sadder story about moms.
Oh my God, this was so upsetting.
My mom died in a car crash when I was 17.
And Nicki, I think, said, like, knowing that about her, like, it kind of explains why she has a lot of highs and lows.
I understand now more in depth why Widow is so unpredictable. A loss of such an important figure that is your mother can really affect you for the rest of your life.
So, quick commercial break, and we will be back with the runway. Category is Planet of the Capes. Or was it?
We'll get into it.
It's really more just capes.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So, Ru walks down the runway in this very classic Ru. She's got her big curly blonde hair on and this green sparkly long dress that's sort of like gathered and snatched at the waist. It was very classic Ru. And Normani is there. I keep wanting to say Normandy, and I don't know why.
Like Normandy?
Kind of.
I guess that's what I was just, it was so funny that like we had that whole conversation about it. I was vindicated so quickly by the actual show. It was pretty great.
And the stunning Normani.
Yeah. Bravo to you. I was bummed, though, that we didn't get to have them lip sync to Motivation.
I was ready for it. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Oh, no.
Have you seen the music video?
Oh, my God. Yes.
Like, damn, girl. Damn.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, that'd be such a fun daily dance. And then I was like, Andrew, who the fuck are you kidding? Never in your wildest dreams could you ever.
And she was fun. I mean, I still kind of wish it was Sandra Oh just for the challenge of it all.
I would have loved that.
Well, because remember how fun it was when Jenny Garth and Tori Spelling were the judges for the 90210 thing?
Yes.
That made it so much more fun and funny, and they really directed them.
But it's fun, too, to like, have the directors be the judges then later so that they can be like, oh, well, on set, you were like this or whatever, and you really stepped it up, or, you know, it really, by the end of it, we were able to use something that made it work.
I agree. So, Planet of the Capes. I was so excited when I heard this.
Yes.
As a category. And I'm not saying everyone's was bad by any means, but I was like so inspired and excited, and then it was like, oh, no one really,
It was just a cape runway. It wasn't Planet of the Cape.
Oh, someone's gonna make like a Trog reference or something. Oh my god, it'd be so crazy.
What I was like, or like, what if you were like the Statue of Liberty, but then you had like a furry face?
Love that.
Or something, you know, like a real Planet of the Apes with a cape and the Statue of Liberty reference or something.
Or like a little loinclothy bikini.
Sure,
with the
yes.
cape.
No one really stepped too far out of the box.
Someone comes out as just Dr. Sayus.
Dr. Sayus, Dr. Sayus. Dr. Sayus, Dr. Sayus.
Dr. Sayus, Dr. Sayus.
Dr. Sayus, Dr. Sayus.
Oh, Dr. Sayus. Dr. Sayus.
First down the runway is Jada in this like seahorse Aquaman. The hair was giving me drag queen from the Planet of Mars Attacks. I think Normani said that it reminded her of Baps, which I was like, yes!
Love that, yeah. I liked this. I thought this was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of something that Trinity the Tuck would wear. The body yaddy yaddy. It was good. I thought this was sexy. It had a concept. It was a little bit superhero, different planet, Aquaman. That's all like at least sci-fi in some way.
Right.
So that's kind of closest to Planet of the Capes.
She's from the Seahorse Planet.
Yeah.
Didn't it seem like she painted her face in a way that made her face not look as much like her face? There's something about her cheeks, and you look like you painted yourself to be a slightly different looking person.
So then next, oh boy, was Bitter Britta, in this like Red Lobster mermaid dress, band like cutouts and S&M. I did not care for this.
She was going for Little Red Riding Hood at the German sex club or something.
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't like this much.
No.
It didn't look like cheap or poorly made, and like her figure was lovely. The wig was really beautiful, but like it didn't go together for me with this weird mermaid chap. We've seen this before, and it doesn't work. Like, just, the shape is wrong.
It just makes her look so bottom heavy, because it's like, here's this fucking leather mermaid tail dress.
This heavy fabric. And then in her voiceover, she was like,
She is serving you a light cape because she's a girl on the go and she cannot be weighed down by a heavy cape.
I know the cape is really lightweight, but like, I'm Little Red Riding Hood. I'm on the go. I gotta be able to get away fast or something. And I was like, but you can't walk.
You're in the fucking leather mermaid dress. What's happening?
I think if she had detached that thing, I would have liked this more, let's say.
In all honesty, like, it would be kind of cute if she had almost like a shorter skirt. If she was doing Little Red Riding Hood, then just do Little Red Riding Hood.
Have like a cute little like gingham skirt dress that you tear away to reveal this body.
Sure. Like a sexy Red Riding Hood, right? She's like the adult version. It's like you didn't watch Once Upon a Time, but there was like a red in that was like an adult woman.
Great. Yeah. Or give me a Freeway reference or something. I'd be here for it.
Sure. It was kind of like she had one look that was red, and she said, well, I have this red tulle cape hood. I can wear that for Cape's look.
It was just one piece of tulle. It was so light. I just went, it's not really
a cape.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but it just didn't have an impact. The cape, I think Michelle said, the cape did not, like, if you just looked at this, you wouldn't be like, oh, what's the category? Oh, obviously it's Planet of the Cape. So then next on the runway is Jackie Cox in another costume. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, I liked this mostly.
I thought the headpiece looked really expensive and intricate and like awesome. I was into it. But then the fabric was so cheapy looking. It just, I don't know, it looked like a, belly dancer costume.
Well, that was the idea.
I went to Party City kind of a little bit, and I was like a belly dancer for Halloween.
Right.
A little bit.
A little bit. It's like, you
elevated,
did a great
but
job, and it's the best Halloween costume for a belly dancer. You really nailed it.
Yeah.
That's still pretty costume.
She hasn't crossed over and done something different with it. Instead of like, bitch, I'm a belly dancer who's also a spy in disguise because I'm Atahari, and like, she doesn't have like a 3-part act story that she's telling me.
Right. Yes, I get that. I wish she had a little bit more going on up here.
I mean, belly dancers are supposed to be like full-figured women,
right. So I don't know, the silhouette wasn't slaying me. It was fine. It was safe.
It was safe.
Oh my God. So then next was Jan. And I loved this. I thought it was so fun and silly.
This backpack into a cape really got me.
Really got me. She comes out, right? She has this backpack. She pulls her parachute strap, And then it's like this parachute cape. She has her silly bejeweled skydiving glasses. She's really hamming it up, right? I was waiting for someone to say, is she gonna jump from there?
She's great.
Yeah, she really knows how to perform and tell a story and ham it up on the runway. That is like really fun. She makes me laugh pretty much every time she comes out.
Yes. I mean, I don't get it. She is just so fun and energetic. I just love her, and I don't see what the judges aren't seeing.
Why are we not celebrating this more?
So then next on the runway, Gigi Good in this true Beverly Hills realness. This was amazing. I mean, I'm loving her references.
Yes.
She seems to be a drag queen of our own heart.
Right? I mean, very much.
I mean, next she's going to do Miss White from Clue or something.
Could you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Imagine.
I loved this.
Uh-huh.
Caveat, I will say, these shorts were a no. It was, you've got camel toe and loose shorts.
You achieved the impossible. She has camel toe in big shorts.
Sure, I get that. The way that they were walking didn't work well. It didn't read. They looked kind of either lopsided or there were certain things that were happening that was not a cute look.
No, well, I think because the top was so corseted and fitted, and then these really loose khaki, but real short.
You know what I wish you would have done was the jodhpurs.
Oh my God.
It's like, no one says that you have to do the exact outfit, right? Like, it's almost more fun if you collect all of the best of her outfits.
Oh, yeah.
She had those fucking jodhpurs and then this big fuck off cape with the green lining like she did. Also, she needed a fucking huge ass feather.
Thank you. I wanted her to have the biggest feather. I wanted her to have a cigarette with like the holder.
Oh my God, yes. And then to fling off the hat at the end. Oh!
Don't worry, silicone floats.
Oh, stop. She'll be all right. Silicone is buoyant.
I would have really enjoyed that quite a bit.
Quite a bit. So I thought this was excellent. Love the reference. Yes, thank God it's the best True Beverly Hills reference we've ever had on the show. There were a couple things that I would have really sent it to the edge.
And I do wish she had found a way to do that gif, that recreate the reveal of the satin under the cape.
Yes.
I mean, that's tough, but oh my God.
But if she had been able to really serve that, I would have lived.
But this was great and I loved it.
Absolutely. So then next is Sherry Pie in this Elvis number.
Elvis gowned. It was the mermaid skirt again. And if that doesn't fit just perfectly, it looks bad.
Yeah.
It was so loose on her. She was swimming in it. And that fabric seemed really heavy and thick too. So that like didn't move with her. So I thought this looked expensive and I loved the cape.
Yes. Oh my God. The back.
That was fabulous.
Gorgeous.
But the fit was way off for me.
Well, I thought her makeup, I haven't seen a lot of variety in her makeup. Even as Mommy Dearest, whatever the fucking character's name was, Harvey Fierstein.
I mean, she had some moles, but...
I guess maybe it's more frustrating for me in that they've called out Crystal. I mean, I guess they gave her credit or whatever. Michelle's sated now.
For all we know, they've told her, you should change your makeup up.
They told Sherry because we haven't seen any of the... I guess that's true.
That's what's weird is like, because we're not seeing any of their critiques, it's really hard
Did
to...
they cut the critiques of her?
They trim them down. If anything.
Guess.
It's always just like, and the winner is Sherry. Like, it's just like, oh, right.
Right.
Right. She's won 3 challenges, and I feel like the girls are probably talking about it, but they have cut it all.
Right.
So there's no context for them being like, oh, fucking Sherry keeps winning, or like, Sherry's my biggest competition because they keep cutting it.
Nobody has been saying that she's their biggest competition.
Because they cut it, I think.
But like they have them saying that other people.
I don't know. It's very weird.
It is weird. It highlights for me the gaslightingness of it all, where it's just like, you must think this. This is what we decided in advance. And it's weird.
So next on the runway is Heidi Ho. Slayana. Yodelehi Heidi Ho.
This was more like Slayana half the day.
Oh yeah, no, this look wasn't great. I was just having fun with her name.
Absolutely. I still love her, but this look was underwhelming. I did love her cape. I thought it was fun and pretty, kind of like hippie kaleidoscope, you know.
Yeah, like rainbow moth butterfly.
Yeah.
This reminded me of like Kennedy Davenport in her season. Like, oh, bitch, look at that body and this, like, you know, just like, yes, but like wasn't the most fabulous thing.
Right. The bodysuit was pretty basic.
Well, all the textures didn't go together. So like there was like this black sequin shiny bodysuit, but then this like matte leather corset belt, but then the buckled thigh high. So there's like all these different black textures that like did not go together.
Yeah.
And then the cape. I think, you know, basically she doesn't have as much resources as a bunch of other people, and she kind of put this together. She was giving me Diana Ross.
Absolutely, yes.
So yeah, this was not her best week, but I love her.
Next is Crystal Method, and I think this was actually maybe one of my favorite of the looks. She has this like super fuck off cape, and it was just like, yes, and this jumpsuit. She looked gorgeous. And I was really living for it.
I really love this. I mean, I think satin's hard.
Sure.
She pulled it off very well, but it's difficult. But this yellow jumpsuit and this like flower child Frida Kahlo makeup, I think she definitely had the biggest cape.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just fucking gigantic in these like Laker colors. What? Sports reference.
Whatever, sports ball was last week.
So next on the runway is Aiden Zane in this Silence of the Lambs Argentine Matador extravaganza. I was into this.
Yeah, I liked it. I felt like it was almost maybe the cape was too short.
It was giving me Liberace cape. No one did Liberace! Honestly, though.
Honestly,
that's homophobic.
But like it kind of is. That would have been
kind of
fabulous. Like this big ass fur white.
And just like rings on every finger.
Yes. Oh, missed opportunities.
No one did James Brown and like throwing the cape off and like, oh, that would have been good too.
That would have been good.
I was a little disappointed with like on a whole the references that people pulled for capes. I'll be honest.
Sure.
Just slightly. Now, if someone had pulled a Hello Mary Lou killer cape, oh my God.
That would be such a niche reference.
It'd be so good though, but even if you just did like, oh, killer prom night, whatever, you know.
Sure.
The cape I am wearing is actually inspired by a cape seen in Buffalo Bill's basement in the movie.
But weird, it was like our logo on her cape, by the way. It was weird that it was like our colors.
Love that.
Not that we've like copyrighted that or anything, but.
No.
I know I really like this. This for me is like her doing her quote unquote simple drag at its best.
Sure.
Where it fit very nicely, it looked tailored, there was enough references here and there, like I like the headpiece. Yeah, she keeps wearing the same wig, but you know, that seems to be, I mean, Sasha just didn't wear a wig.
But she also wore head adornments.
Sure. It hasn't bothered me yet necessarily. I don't know why.
That surprises me.
I know.
Oh boy. So the next is the Widow, and I don't even know what this was. Like Ladybug herpes cape? I don't know.
No, it was watermelon.
Oh, that's right. It was watermelon. I forgot, but when you looked at it, it kind of looked like a herpes ladybug. I don't know what else to tell you. This was a real big miss for me.
Like watermelon, Lil Kim, stripper, superhero. I don't know what was going on. This was bad. But I will say, I really like the way that Widow paints her face, and I thought the wig was cool. Like I thought her head looked good.
Sure.
But oh no, this was a no.
This was a no.
Next on the runway is Nicki Doll, and I mean, oh my God. So she comes out in this huge white oversized cape with like a fur collar. It looked like something Angela Bassett would wear at the end of Black Panther when they were in like the snowy world.
Just you need the hat.
Oh, always. I did think she threw the cape off too soon.
I think she should have walked all the way down the runway in the fur and been like, what, bitch? Then dramatic toss off.
Yes.
And then be like, oh, look, I have a little cape in my silver armor. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I also didn't think, I mean, I loved this, but I did not think that the outer cape and the outfit like really went together.
No, they didn't really go together.
Well.
Did you really think they went together? They don't.
I think actually, in all honesty, that was probably more of the problem than the timing of throwing it off. Was just that it was like, here's this big, heavy fur cape, and now here's this armor and this ethereal, light Victoria's Secret angel outfit. How are those connected?
Do you think if she had just not had that white cape at all and just come out like, blam, look at these legs, wow, that it would have been better?
Probably. If she had just come out with the one cape and was like, this is my fucking look, what?
Well, and for me, this, like, talking about Britta's cape being like lightweight and weird. For me, this worked better because the like hardness of the armor, but then like the lightweightness of this like Grecian sort of flowy fabric worked better for me.
I just would have liked it to be even more of the flowy billowy.
Yeah, longer.
Exactly. Give me like, even especially maybe fuck the whole white fur cape. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares? You walk out and then you just have fucking 20 feet. Like, ask Rockham, hey, Rockham, before you leave, can I have 20 yards of your white tulle to use as my goddamn cape? And then just drape that off your back. It would have been fabulous, just like draped behind you.
I'm surprised that no one went for just like Princess Diana fucking 20 feet cape. I guess that's more of a train, but figure it out. Like, do something where it just keeps coming and
I'm down for a cape train. Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
But aside from the fact, with like the category and et cetera, and like, did she need the extra cape or didn't she need oh my God, this woman that walked down the runway.
Oh, fucking stunning, gorgeous.
Oh my God. I was like, look at this fish.
Oh my God.
Look at this fresh tilapia.
Yes.
What is happening? Her legs. Oh my God.
I just stomping down the runway. I was like
distracted the whole time.
And again, she gave me real Charlize.
Oh, well, I was like, oh my God. First of all, I mean, with this just like perfectly molded, painted on armor.
Oh, yeah.
It was very like Barbarella. And I was just like, wait a minute now. Remake Barbarella with Charlize. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
It was also giving me some like Valkyrie,
Yes.
Oh.
Very that. Like Tessa Thompson in this outfit. Fuck me. Yes.
Oh, just fuck me.
Not even gently with the chainsaw.
I could say, we've seen a lot of armor from her. Like, this wasn't particularly out of her wheelhouse, but she's never looked more beautiful. I mean, this was just insane. Her face, she had these like cat-like eyes with the red hair.
I agree.
She was too beautiful to be contained.
So quick commercial break and we'll be back with Gay's Anatomy. Call it an untucked girl.
Girl. So we get the world premiere?
Sure.
The series premiere of Gay's Anatomy. And
Season 1 and the only season.
I thought this on a whole was pretty boring.
Well, first of all, I think it was a mistake to put this kind of acting challenge with this many queens.
Yes, agreed.
When you have this many queens, it's better to break them up into like I thought it was a Justin Bieber concert.
Yes, do 2 different sketches with 5 and 5 or whatever.
Exactly. But instead, this was like, they tried to fit all of these different episodes and quirks and things of 20 different seasons of Grey's Anatomy into one weird thing that just didn't flow. It didn't make any sense. I didn't know what was happening.
I didn't know what was happening. There was no rise and fall. I thought there was a lot of missed opportunities as far as like actual Grey's Anatomy references went.
Well, I thought there were a lot there. Aiden's was the whole Denny thing when he died, like, right? They fell in love and then...
But, okay, well, like, maybe I'm being nitpicky because I've, like, watched fucking God knows how many seasons of Grey's Anatomy, but, like, that was Izzy that fell in love with Denny and fell in love with the ghost, not Sandra Okay. And that was who...
Oh, sure, right. It was Sandra Okay. Yeah, why not do Izzy?
Gigi was Izzy.
Oh. So
which was also weird. I thought, because they said, it's Dr. Izzy, pun, insert pun here. I don't remember.
Sure.
Dr. Tizzy Stevens.
But I thought that she was kind of playing it like April, uptight religious lady.
But weird with the cats. I didn't know what her real personality character was.
I thought she gave me a character, and that's why she was successful in the challenge, even though it didn't really make sense. Other people, I was like, what are you doing? I was actually genuinely confused by Britta. Sandra Oh's character on the show is such just like a bad bitch, overly confident, like emotional disaster. Yeah, everyone on the show is. But she's so confident, and she was playing her like, oh, I'm nerdy and nervous and uncomfortable. And I was like, what's going on? I don't understand. I mean, I guess, it's not supposed to be exactly the character, but it was just weird for me.
It was really weird.
So, Meredith, how's it going with your drag mom?
I think almost the opposite of the Sex and the City challenge on All Stars 4, where they were like, now you all have to play these specific people and characters and actors.
Right.
This, they were like, well, fuck it all. Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
Exactly. There was no kind of tie or reference or like, this is the so-and-so character. Well, like, what does Mae West have to do with Denny? If that was the storyline they were doing, obviously. But
Right.
it would have been funnier if she fell in love with like one of the pit crew.
Right, and he was a ghost.
Yeah. That'd be silly. And like he doesn't have to do much, but like then it's just the drag queen as Izzy gets
Yes.
the opportunity to really ham it up and do a lot. And they didn't do that.
I was confused why Shonda Rhimes was a character on her own show.
Sure.
And why it wasn't just Dr. Bailey.
Right.
Who's also awesome. I thought that the Meredith character was written all wrong and very weird. They didn't get the Meredithness of it all for me somehow.
No, I agree. The voiceover was wrong, and
Yeah.
the Meredith part that made me laugh the most was when she had the bomb, and she's like,
yeah.
I have to hold this completely still while performing open heart surgery.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that?
Yes! That's when she starts seeing a ghost too. Remember, she starts seeing the ghost of that SWAT guy that died in the bomb explosion.
Oh my God, that show was too much.
This is what I really missed in the writing. I think Meredith needed to be an emotional disaster who was like, oh my God, my sister died in a plane crash and this happened over here and I was in a mass shooting and I also
ferry crashed and my mom was there when I was dying.
I tried to kill myself on a ferry crash because I thought this was happening and whatever and blah, blah. I'd like have the over dramaticness of wait, am I even still here anymore? What's happening? Kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Because then giving her a new face didn't make sense to me either. Because if anything, she's the only original main character that stayed on the show.
Right.
It would have been more funny if it was a different character who was like, oh, and then we replaced that actor because they called someone a gay slur. And then, oh, we replaced that actor because of this reason. And oh, we replaced Derek because he was an asshole.
Also, hilarious if they just started killing everyone off.
Yes! And then have the second group of girls replace all of them.
Yes, I love that. Oh, and then she's the only one that's still fucking there. And she's like, maybe if her makeup got older and older as they went along, right? And it's like, goddamn, 18 years later, and she's still like using it as a walker.
It's just like everyone's left and been replaced by younger, hotter people, and I'm still fucking here holding up this bomb. Yes.
The baby that like in the first half that like Nicki Doll's baby could have then grown up and become a doctor under Meredith Grey.
Oh my God, I just graduated. Why wasn't there any just like, oh, and now I'm a lesbian on this episode. Oh, but now I'm not.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
or like getting confused about like, oh, now I slept with him, but also she had his baby, but then also they were dating at some point, and oh, it's hard to keep track. It's hard. Like that would have been so fun.
They could have done a lot more jokes about the show. The writing was a disaster. It did not set them up for success.
Well, so yeah, I thought Jackie, her portrayal of Meredith, I was confused. I wasn't really sure what she was going for.
Well, hers was tough in that I think she really was trying to be the stoic, kind of robotic Meredith Grey.
She was all like, oh my God, what season? And
Good morning, Mother.
I wanted like her to have like babies hanging off her hips and be like, oh my God, since Derek fucking died, I've had to, like I'm going to have, oh, what is going on?
I think the sunlight is coming in.
Oh my God, are you being abducted by aliens?
I'm being raptured, Avaryl.
Oh no, don't leave me behind.
No.
Anyway, I just didn't really get Jackie's portrayal of this particularly.
No.
And I thought she wasn't bad, but I was just like, oh, man.
Although I don't think that Jan necessarily did a better job as Meredith.
She was more energetic.
Sure.
Own it! If you've got a hook, put some glitter on it!
But that's not really Meredith either.
Right.
Yeah, they needed to be like, oh my God, we're having sex in the on-call room. But then a semi-truck drove through that, like have really bad, green screen effects and be like, oh my God, a bus full of children that was on fire just exploded into the hospital, and then a fire truck came, but that also crashed into the bus, and then a plane landed, and that also hit and also all of this other stuff happened. A ferry found its way and Korean speed 2 cruise control style just slowly ran into the hospital. Oh no, there's a ferry coming. No, like do that Holy Grail joke where the guy keeps running and keeps getting closer and going, oh no, the ferry's coming. But no.
But no.
I liked the McFlurry joke at the end, but I feel like they could have really done a lot more.
I think I missed that.
You know, I told you to put a little makeup on. Maybe McFlurry wouldn't have left you if you didn't look. Whoa!
Maybe if you'd worn more makeup, McFlurry wouldn't have left you and the kids.
It was like, that was silly and fun.
Did that happen? Did she have kids?
Meredith? When did you stop watching the show?
The plane crash.
Oh, yeah. No, she has, when I quit, she had 2 children. 3? She adopted a baby.
Oh, I remember that.
And then she finally got pregnant and had a baby with Derek. And maybe had a second baby, I can't remember, and then they killed him off.
Right.
And then I stopped watching.
Did they ever build the house in Bainbridge Island?
Yes.
Did we get to see it? Was it fabulous?
It was fabulous, and he finished it before he died.
Oh, good. Yeah, so, I mean, I thought Aiden really stepped up her game by the end. I thought the ghost stuff of her was hilarious. Like, it was just so stupid.
Does that an EpiPen in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Oh.
I thought you were dead.
Oh.
You're a ghost?
Oh. Ooh.
The Mae West wholeness of it was working more for me as a ghost for whatever reason.
Well, they put all that reverb on her.
Right. It was sillier, I guess. Maybe like it had transcended at that point.
I thought all of her stuff was pretty funny and silly. She was doing a lot with her mouth and her face.
Yeah, I thought she was certainly safe, if not at like the top 5 or whatever the fuck they did.
Yeah. Jada, I thought, was fine. She couldn't really get her lines right, and I didn't get a ton from her, but she wasn't like a disaster. No one was a disaster.
No one was a disaster. Well, Britta was kind of a disaster for me in that she couldn't get the lines right. Like she completely misunderstood the reading of it.
That RAS.
Oh, it's RAS. Restless Ass Syndrome. Oh.
I still am not sure if I got it because it was so confused the way she was saying it.
It was just what I thought. RAS. And I was like, what are you doing?
She was playing for the back row.
Yes.
And then suddenly when she was in love with her, I was confused.
Yep.
But like if she had made the joke of like, oh, well, this week is, I'm a lesbian, but don't worry, I'm going to have a baby with, Egg McMuffin next week, so it's fine. Whatever it is.
But also, like, what did restless ass syndrome have to do with why was she in the hospital? Was it like that she was a bottom and she needed her restless ass sated by Dr. O'Connor? I don't know. But like, I would have liked that to be explained.
I really like that.
Restless ass syndrome. I've got the cure for that.
It should have been restless bottom syndrome then.
Sure, RBS.
RBS, restless bottom syndrome. Don't worry, I was the top of my class.
There you go. I love it. Oh my God, it writes itself.
And I thought Gigi was giving me a lot of face. She was very present in the scene. She picked a character and played it, whether or not it made sense. She stood out for me, like physically, like making eye contact and connecting and reacting to people.
Yeah. I mean, I guess obviously we should talk about it because she won. Sherry, this
right.
Firestein,
My God. Well, I will say this. This is the first time with the caveat of I still was like, boo, that I actually thought she was really funny and was like enjoying her performance.
I agree.
Can we talk about me now? Do you think that this makes me look fat? I like that it covers up my chin, but it might, add too much chin.
I thought this performance was good and funny, and like, if I wasn't like, ooh, then I'm sure I would have really enjoyed it as much as I could have for how the sketch as an entirety went.
Did it seem like maybe they took out the laugh track under her?
My meds wore off, so I'm back to treating you like shit. And put some makeup on, you look horrible.
Oh, God. Maybe.
It seemed subdued.
Fair. They easily could have punched it up and made it like, oh my God, everyone thought this was hilarious. And like, isn't she hilarious? This was so great. And then you would have gone along with it a lot more and been like, this is hilarious. She has to win. And instead we were like, ooh.
The whole thing was like a little subdued. And I was like, oh.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm really nervous for next week.
Because it seems like Sherry's obviously going to excel.
I feel like Sherry's probably going to win again. I feel like we have 10 queens doing Snatch Game.
No, it's too many.
Too many.
Well, I was wondering, so Aiden was wearing like that blonde wig, absolutely atrocious, and you could see the wig line, and I didn't know if that was the point.
Probably not.
Like, oh, I'm an old lady in the hospital and I'm wearing, I wasn't sure, but it was terrible. But I did have a question about some writing. So
Okay.
when Widow comes in pregnant, well, because they're like, oh, it's code pink, whatever, something.
Not another octo tsunami. That's the third one this season. 10 tentacles across the board.
And then Jackie says, oh, not another octo tsunami.
Was
and then
this-
she had octopuses on her?
It was like a Sharknado joke
Oh, okay.
of like, you know, an octo tsunami where there's like an octopus tsunami of like a tidal wave of octopuses. I think that was supposed to be their joke of like, oh, the absurdity of all of these like natural disasters that happen in Grey's Anatomy.
No,
But
that is not Grey's Anatomy to me, though.
not at all.
Make it like, oh, I was tragically in a plane crash that then landed on top of an explosives building that then blew me into, you know, a school bus that then now I'm pregnant for some reason, and you know.
We were in a plane crash that landed on a train that derailed and flew into a sperm bank that exploded, and now I'm pregnant with an unknown baby.
Yes. So, okay, I really didn't get that. I thought they were going for like Octomom or something. I was really confused by that.
It was an octo tsunami. It was a tsunami of octopuses.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Great.
But I thought Widow was really good and gave a lot of energy and like improvised well.
It's not a baby.
It's a bomb! Actually, it's a glitter bomb. I swallowed that at the white party.
I thought she did great. She might have actually been my favorite.
I think maybe.
Because she was so anxious and so upset about having the role and whatever else, right?
And she really moved on.
She really did. She got in there and I thought she was making me laugh. Her storyline made the most sense of like, oh, I'm a drag queen, I can't get pregnant. Oh, well, I swallowed that glitter bomb back at Pride in 2019 or whatever. And I was like, yes, this is hilarious. Like, all of this was working.
Then it seemed like that was improvised by her.
It kind of did.
Carson was like, oh, that white party joke was really funny. And I was like, did she just add the white party part?
I guess so.
Because they had the bomb, but I was just like, okay, she obviously like flavored it up and made it really funny in her own. And so I was like, oh, she was great. But her look was so bad, she couldn't have won.
That's true. Her look was awful.
And I thought Nicki Doll actually was giving me some good face. And, you know, her French was funny.
Ooh, sacre bleu. It smells like balls and weird glue in here.
I think she could have understood her own character a little more and been, you know, more playful with it somehow, or more pissed off, something. It needed to be turned up to 11. And she was like, oh, I'm doing so much better. I got it to like a 7.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Now, here's the thing for me that was so stupid about this was that the judges seemed so fucking obsessed with like, oh, she's not fun. She can't be any fun. You have to turn on the fun. And then they got rid of her. And I was like, well, she was obviously trying. Yeah. And I thought she was doing pretty okay. Yeah. I would have liked to see a couple more episodes with her where one should be turning looks. And two, she could potentially have had the opportunity to become even more fun. We were seeing it backstage where she could be silly. And she was trying.
I never had a problem with Nicki. I thought she was fun and funny. Her confessionals were great. I wasn't having a problem with her.
Me either. But the judges really did. And I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. But they were so obsessive about it. And then it was just like, well, it was obvious that they were just going to send her home.
It was almost like, well, we've already decided that this is why and when you're going to go home.
Exactly.
So.
It was
and so then it's like this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where she's like, well, they don't think I'm fun, so what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Right. Well, I have to really make sure that I take the role that'll be funniest, and I have to be like, get in my head about being funny and whatever.
Well, so then after the glitter bomb explodes, we're introduced to Meredith 2, Jan.
Right.
I mean, I think this was a flaw in the casting, obviously. Like, they unravel her face and I was like, it's not much different. I thought Jan had a lot of energy and fun, and I thought she played better with Sherry as the mom character.
Yes.
Like, their back and forth was funnier, where she was just like, oh my God, my mom won't leave me alone, and she keeps, you know, it like read better for me somehow.
I agree.
Mother!
I have been selfish and depressed. And as my
Mom,
therapist...
we don't have a lot of time.
All right, let's save these sluts.
But also, don't you think that Jan should have like had different, more fucked up makeup or something?
Well, it was supposed to be a face transplant, so I guess we're supposed to believe, like, maybe if she'd had like a kind of like a scar line just like
something
here, You know what I mean? Where it's like they took her face, but like all they could get.
Yeah, a face off, you know.
Right, exactly.
Make that joke. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But you only do it to yourself after you've washed your hands.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, and then this is when it really started to feel like, oh, there's way too many queens. When Heidi and Crystal came on, I was like, oh, right, they haven't even been here yet. And this was so just like an afterthought.
It was just an afterthought. I felt bad for them because they were funny, but it was just like this, like, oh, and then they came in. Sometimes we're really stuck together. And you're like, well, this is all stupid.
They got forked together and...
Right.
Be careful. Spooning leads to forking.
I felt bad for them.
It seemed so tacked on at the end.
Exactly.
But I thought Crystal had a little more of a character than Heidi. Heidi was sort of just playing Heidi.
Sure.
Who goes on 7? You're the one that wanted to do a fork the pain away number. I wanted to do Since You've Been Flawed.
Where Crystal put on this little bit of a Southern twang and was kind of really giving me the physical comedy of like reacting to her.
Yeah.
I agreed with that.
Yeah.
I thought Crystal did do a little bit better than Heidi. Not, I mean, they were a pair, so it's like you kind of have to compare them. But
Sure.
well, so then at the end, this was confusing. So they're all walking down the hallway like, yes, bitch,
Right.
we own the hospital. I don't know. And Jan shoves Gigi out of the way. And while that was funny, I was like, she should be shoving Jackie out of the way because she's the new Meredith.
Truly sickening.
Yes. I was like, why would Jackie be there? Because if she's Meredith, I thought the same exact thing.
What?
Yeah.
This just makes no sense. And like, logically, that joke would be so much funnier if it was like, and then she threw Jackie out of the way.
Either way, it was weird. And I was like, but that's on Carson.
Kind of.
That was a script and or director choice, not a drag queen choice. So that,
oh, yeah. I was just like, what? I did love that Dahlia showed up as a Brock ally.
What was that though? When did they film it?
That's what I don't know, because she had the same exact wig and makeup.
And I was
really
like,
made me laugh.
How did they... Maybe they green screened it?
She was like in a wheelchair getting like pushed in. I loved it though.
Well, yes.
But then also I was like, oh, they should have had Heidi and Crystal try and skewer her with their fork.
See if she was done.
See if she was done. Put a fork in me, I'm done. So yeah, on a whole, I thought this was like fine.
It was middling.
It was middling. No one was bad. No one was absolutely fantastically great. And I think that's probably why they had a hard time judging it. Like, because they were like, well, we're just kind of pulling at hairs at this point. Like, well, I guess that was kind of shitty. So you're in the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely did seem nitpicky, but Sherry wins.
Yes.
And Nikki and Heidi are in the bottom. And I was pretty bummed about it. Because I was like, I don't really want to see either of them go home.
No, definitely not.
And I definitely, at this point, was like, Britta should have been in the bottom. I thought that her performance was quite bad.
It was just kind of blah and like over the top.
In the bad way.
Eager.
It was over the top in the wrong way. She didn't seem to get it or have an intention. It was just like, all right, ass, oh no. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Everything was like up here.
It was kind of, like not in a classically funny way that will last for the test of time.
No. It wasn't so bad.
Right.
Like it wasn't like, oh no. Well, Nikki had been in the bottom before.
But like her outfit was fucking stunning.
Oh my God, it was so
But
stunning.
of course they were like, well, this isn't a cape, and you threw off your cape, and then they just kind of ignored the fact that she literally had a second cape.
That she looked fucking gorgeous.
But also, like, Michelle kept talking as if she had only had one cape.
I thought Michelle's critiques this week were weird. When she was like to Britta, who I didn't like Britta's outfit, but when she was like, I don't know, this just looks like something someone's wearing to the club. I was like, what?
Thank you. I was like, what club? What?
You can't dance in this or move. So what's happened?
No one's wearing this outfit, period, let alone out.
She really needed to tear off that fucking chapped mermaid skirt.
Oh my God. just fucking cut it off.
But yeah, the top queens are sent back immediately and they critique all the bottom queens and they ask everyone, okay, like who do you think should go home in this group? And everyone says Nicki, except Jada, I think, said Heidi.
Yes.
Based on like runway.
Yes.
I mean, Nicki really seemed defeated because then Nicki even said herself, which was a bummer, which is the kiss of death. Never say that.
Right, I think so. I think at this point for her, she just heard so much that she wasn't fun or funny. And it was just like, well, I guess from the way that I was told I performed, I should go home. But yes, so Nicki and Heidi have to lip sync to Heart to Break by Kim Petras. Love the song.
Yeah.
It is a Dr. Luke song.
I don't know who that is.
Dr. Luke is the rapist from Kesha.
Oh, no. Fuck him.
Yeah, but Kim Petras decided to work with him still.
Oh, even after the fact.
After. She was like, well, he's cool with me, so I'm going to keep working with him. And I'm like, well, maybe we find someone else to work with. It's complicated, I guess, but yeah, bummer.
Bummer.
Yeah.
I wish we had had Motivation by Normani. Normani, damn it!
But yes, I really wish we'd had Motivation.
So yeah, no, I thought this lip sync was good. It was good.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Nicki was like fucking living every moment. She had the words down. She was just this like goddess.
Yeah.
And Heidi was really going for it and pulling out the stops, doing the splits, doing the slow splits, doing Naomi's, you know.
Oh my God. Well, not quite, but yes.
It was from a different angle.
Sure.
But I thought Heidi was just going for it that much more.
Absolutely.
Nicki was doing very well, but she never quite crossed over into like, I'm fucking fighting for this bitch.
Because I don't think she was.
I know it was, but she did a good job. It was still good.
Yes.
And oh my God, Heidi's flipping her wig off and then putting it back on.
You can see her civil rights hair. Oh, Lord.
I was so nervous because I was basically like, okay, like, I mean, I really like you, Nicki, but like, I was obviously rooting for Heidi more. And at that point, it made it pretty clear.
Yes.
And then the wig came off and I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. That's like the kiss of death. Although it seemed like Nicki didn't really know some of the words, which is also a kiss of death for Ru. So I was like,
well, this is what I'll say. Heidi didn't take off her wig as like a, and then I threw off my wig.
But it was a Monique Hart where it fell off. And it's like, that's still, we've seen can be.
It's not great, but it's better than I actively decided to take it off.
Yes, true.
But she got that bitch back on her head and she was like, I didn't skip a beat. She was like, I am not going home.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And Carson's reaction to when her wig came off.
Oh my God, it was so good. Because he knew.
Can he just be there for only reactions?
But like, yes.
When she slid backwards and like almost ran into Nicki. I was like, ah!
But I love that Nicki's just like, and I'm going to step around that.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it was good. There were a lot of good things to this lip sync. It wasn't a bad lip sync. And I thought it was certainly a better performance out of Nicki than her first one.
Yes, for sure. So Heidi wins and stays. I'm glad. I will miss Nicki and her looks.
I didn't really want either of them to go, and I wanted to see much more of them throughout the season. But Heidi is so much fun for me, and I really like her that I wanted to see her.
Obsessed.
And I thought she won the lip sync.
Also, yes, also that. Oh boy, so this week on Untucked, I feel like this is the first episode of Untucked we've had in a while.
I mean, right? Where it's just like, but also I don't know how much fun I had, but yes.
Oh, I had fun.
Okay.
With Heidi?
I mean, yes.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm worried about Heidi. What is that about? What is all of this about?
I mean, if they did it like Old Untucked, which I think that they should, where they pick out the best parts of every episode, you know that fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm worried about Heidi would be in there.
That's absolutely true.
And then Jan.
Oh my God. I will say this. Because it's at first, Sherry got up there. Yeah.
And then Jan.
At first, Sherry got up there and was like, oh, well, I've been staring at this shade button. I was like, but it's not a real button. What's going on?
I was like, oh, why is Sherry talking? This seems weird. Oh, because it led to something else that was great.
Exactly. They couldn't cut it. Jan did such a fun job of like being so silly with it that it made it so much fun. I was like, yes, I love this now.
All of Jan's reaction shots, the entire, just like.
Or like her getting up and running over to go hit it was just really silly. It made the episode a lot more fun. And
oh, yes.
I appreciate that.
No, I mean, there was a lot of this Untucked that was frustrating that I did not care for, but there was also a lot that I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm always asking for. So yes.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm worried about Heidi. What is that about?
about? What is all of this about?
Basically, everyone's piling on Aiden. When the tops are all back there, Jackie is basically like, oh, I'm surprised that you're here because you dropped a couple of your lines. And I was like, well, and I thought Aiden's response was great. She was like, well, I did. And then they gave them to me. And then I moved forward and I took a deep breath and then I did my job. And I was like, yeah, anybody can drop a line. It's how you recover from it.
Absolutely. This was a nonsense conversation and they were all just trying to be bitches. But Carson literally told her, much improved. This is, we got there. You made it happen. I'm like, that's all that she needed. Like, then she did it.
Yeah.
She took direction. She improved. And great.
The bottom queens come back, and there's even more discussion about how Aiden should be in the bottom. And I was just actually genuinely surprised that everyone was like, Britta, we were so surprised you were in the bottom. And I was like, what?
I honestly am still surprised that she wasn't in the bottom two these past 2 weeks.
She was in the bottom two last week.
Well, I mean, like in a row.
Oh, great. Well, that was also a factor. I was like, she was in the bottom last week, and she was still not good and didn't improve much
this week.
Next week. So
exactly.
What's up?
At least, like, for me, Nicki tried harder and did better at improving than Britta did.
Britta just came off so entitled this whole episode and just like...
I'm just shook that I'm in the bottom again. When I am serving you looks every single time compared to other people.
I'm bringing looks, I'm bringing this, I'm so fabulous, I've won all these competitions, like I should be coasting through this whole season. And
I
blah,
was
blah,
voted
like,
New York's best whatever, and I was like, I don't really give a fuck.
But doesn't that say anything? Anything? Like, bitch, I've been training for this shit, and I'm like ready, and like I just keep on ending up in the bottom. I haven't even won anything yet.
This is not cute.
No.
Focus on you. Don't worry about anybody else.
And I thought that was so great about Heidi, was just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm focusing on Heidi.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm worried about Heidi. What is that about? What is all of this about?
Oh my God, it's so good.
So good. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what needed to be said. And what the attitude should be is like, they're not here to be like judging and critiquing and deciding who's valid or not. They're there to compete. So compete on your own merit.
Well, and this for me is where the two rooms really come in handy. Yeah. Where, you know, Britta with other queens in a different room being like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I disagree with the judges, blah, 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 talking shit. Fine, whatever. But like to just attack the person in the room and constantly be like, you should be in the bottom. You suck. We don't like you, blah, blah, blah. It was just rude.
I agree. It makes it less fun. Whereas it's like when they're being shady bitches behind her back and then all of a sudden Aiden comes in and is like, what's that? What are you saying about me? Then it makes it more fun. Whereas you're right, when it's just them being like, well, I didn't fucking think that you deserve anything and you're terrible and I don't like you. You're like, well, this is just ugly.
Mean. I did have a theory. Do you think that potentially Britta and Sherry are both being fucking assholes to Aiden, but they cut all of this stuff of Sherry being an asshole because of the whole thing, and then there's like more of Britta, so it seems like it's all on her?
We did 3 girls, 1 brain, sis, and I felt like Sherry and I were carrying you.
Maybe a little, because we definitely saw that in that when they were in the challenge together, right? Sherry and Britta were both being total bitches, and then maybe now that they've cut all of Sherry, I don't think it's necessarily off. They have shown a few other queens. It hasn't just been Britta that's been shady, and that's where I thought that Aiden, like saying, well, lots of queens have been coming for me this entire time. And then this, oh, well, that's not true. No one said anything about you. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, that's...
No one's attacking you as we all point fingers and attack you.
I was like, what's happening? This is insanity, but okay.
But nobody's attacking her.
Y'all have been calling out my name this entire time. What do you mean nobody's attacking her? Aiden.
Jackie, she's sort of like mother hen, right? I thought she had a pretty good sort of take on it, like, well, you know, you're very much a loner and like you don't seem to reach out to us, so like I think there's hostility there because we're trying to kiki with you. But I also get that Aiden is like, why the fuck should I be nice to you? You guys have been assholes to me from day one. So like there's both sides of it.
Yes.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. It reminded me of, I'm not worried about you.
Yep.
I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you.
And I'm certainly not worried about you.
I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you. And I'm not worried about you.
So good. It was very that.
It's so weird not having their opinions about Sherry in it either.
At this point, like you said, she's won 3 challenges. So for them to not even be talking about it and be like, well, Sherry won those 3, like, it's weird. It's just weird. And I know that we had said, well, will they edit her out or whatever? At this point, I wish they had edited a little bit less of her out.
It's tough. It's like throwing the whole dynamic off. Obviously, it's slapdashed. Like the new narratives they're giving everyone is like, whoa, it's confusing. It's a weird experiment.
Yes, it is. For me, it just really highlights how produced everything is in the show and how the storylines and everything that they want to happen is just directed so early on and how problematic that is.
So yeah, they shit on Aiden for a while. I do really think that Aiden is very good at calmly expressing herself.
Yeah.
And is trying to just shrug it off and be like, bitches, I'm not gonna pay you any mind. So I'm glad that at least she's kind of like, fuck off. Like if she was more sad and like beaten down by it, I would be sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's handling it in a way that I'm like, I appreciate that. Heidi is like, I'm going home, like, fuck, like she's all defeated. And I thought Nicki gave her a really nice pep talk.
Do not underestimate yourself because you don't have a fucking $2,000 costume. And what I love is that you pour your soul into every single performance that you're doing.
Yes.
I mean, like, you don't have any better chance than I do. Like, just because you can't spend $2,000 on a fucking outfit, you put your heart and soul into it. Like, she gave her such an eloquent, nice pep talk, and I was like, yes, bitch!
I really loved it. I thought it was really nice, and it then again made me sad that she wasn't gonna be here, that it was the two of them, you know?
I know, it bummed me out. And then she left her Nicki Minaj wig.
I know.
I thought this was a fun episode. I mean, the challenge was kind of whatever, but it was mostly fun. I'm getting to know everyone. I'm liking mostly everybody. And Heidi is the star. She's the fucking star. I feel like maybe they're putting more Heidi in, like, to replace Sherry, like we said.
I mean, maybe it's because at least she's giving energy and fun. Like, it's like that's an easy go-to for a confessional to jazz something up, you know?
Exactly. So we'll see you next week at Snatch Game. I'm worried.
Very worried. Here's to next week. Snatch Game.
Cheers!
Cheers! Oh!
Oh!